Yeah, it is morning right after the very first game of the season. We played against JKT last night. It was a tough game. It was a great game. Our very first game. A lot of nerves, but um, we managed to get the outcome that we wanted. Played against a really tough team, JKT. Very well coached, disciplined, very disciplined. I'm very impressed, and hopefully we can have the kind of discipline that they have. And it was a tough out. They're definitely going to be a team that, if we play our cards right, we might see them again. Because I strongly, I think that they would definitely make it into the playoffs. Our goal is to make it into the playoffs and make an impact. So chances are we'll probably meet them. You know, of course, everything is in God's hand. Hopefully, everything works out. But I saw a really, really tough team out there, and like I said, disciplined, well coached, and they execute. They execute really well. That's a plus. So here we are. I got the stat sheet right in front of me, and I'm just gonna go over stuff and then talk to you guys. And all right, so let's start. Yesterday we won that game not because we played a great game, but I would say control. There's certain aspects of the game we controlled really well. Now, we played against a really gritty, tough, disciplined team, but they were shorter than us. So we definitely had that advantage, and we used it we used it accordingly. Grabbed a lot of rebounds. They definitely out hustled us, but we definitely used our height. So that was one of the things. We shot 24% from the three, 44% from the free throw line. Now that's terrible right there. We got to do a better job right there. Only 45.6 overall. Now, those are the kind of numbers whereby when you look at it, you're like, no. This is not supposed to be a game this team would win. But we won by 18 points. We won by 18 points. And it tells you that the areas we were supposed to take care of, we took care of. And that's what good basketball teams are supposed to be doing. We did what we were supposed to do. We just need to get better in different areas. And that's what we're going to work on. And like I said, this is our very first game, nerves and everything. We had a plus 23 rebounding margin, 58 to 35. And we had 17 second chance points, 14 fast break points, and we held them to only 27.4 field goal percentage. Omari shot 25%. He took 20 shots. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted saying, oh, we did a great job on Omari and we held him, did a great job defensively and everything. I think we could have done a better job, but we did okay. We did okay. He's an incredible guard. Very skilled. Very skilled. Definitely knows how to crack through little gaps and angles and just create little pockets when you think they're impossible to be created or can't be created. He's able to actually create those little pockets and just slide right through and then find the open guy and dish it out and all that. Like, he gave us fits. He gave us fits. And that kind of like disrupted our rhythm to begin with. At the very first quarter, we had issues. So, yeah. So, what else am I seeing here? Oh, shout outs to Brian IMC. He had a team high, plus 11 on the plus minus. He played for 25 minutes. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Now, this to me is definitely a stabilizer. Those are the kind of numbers you get from a stabilizer. He brought the team together when we were having fits at the very beginning. We put him in, and things kind of like, very first quarter, we were having trouble. We couldn't contain anything, right? They were scoring almost at will, open shots and everything. He came in and things started changing, especially in the second quarter. Second quarter totally changed. At one point, we held him, I think, for like 6 minutes without a field goal. No, without a bucket, period. Right, yeah. So, okay, what am I looking at here? Jimmy, 21 rebounds. Yeah, 21 rebounds, 5 offensive. That's great. Um, Iverson, right? 28 minutes, 5 assists, plus 9, only 2 turnovers. Only 2. Now that is definitely a plus. That was definitely a plus. Honestly, I think this this really this really stands out for me. It truly does stand out for me because I am seeing um, when he guarded Omari, the pressure eased. Iverson may be our best point of attack disruptor. All right, now I'm not talking about the best defender. There's a difference right there, because um, you have at times, like for instance, you're guarding somebody like Omari. Like I was talking about him just going through little gaps and creating little angles and all that. So when you have bigger like wings, like for instance, at first we had Tyrone or DK try to guard him, it was just difficult for them to navigate through those little spaces, just bothering rhythm, surviving change of direction, recovering quickly, through the different penetrations or just little angles that Omari was creating. And that was a lot easier for Iverson. So in terms of disrupting that, I can honestly say with his energy and his frame and his ability to just navigate through that, he could be our best disruptor right now. And that's what I was thinking while watching that. Now, it's early in the season. We'll see. And he did that actually in the playoffs last season. He was doing that. Again, and once Omari stopped, collapsing our defense, that's when we got our rhythm, really. That was actually the changing point. So we got to give a lot of props to Iverson for doing that. Our transition opportunities improved, spacing improved. That emotional panic stopped. Players stopped rushing because we were rushing and we were turning the ball over. Now, Iverson played for that many minutes, only 2 turnovers. That's major. That's major. We just flowed naturally once it started playing, and that's why he got a lot of minutes out there. But what would I say? I would say the encouraging part, even though we went through this offensive discomfort, poor shooting, early defensive pressure, and Omari creating breakdowns and all that, we still out rebounded them. We defended. We controlled. Everything stayed emotionally connected, which is major for me. That is major, and we're able to do that. And I did say, Omari was incredible, but actually him taking 20 shots was also a win for us. Even though he created pressure, forcing high volume, difficult, shots and all that, eventually he wore down, making the pressure less damaging to the structure, not necessarily eliminating drives completely, because elite guards usually break containments regardless. So just making him wear out, and eventually he did fade. I gave a lot of props to Iverson, but truly it's the whole defense. But he was a spark plug. That's all I'm trying to say. Yeah. So that's really my take, and I'm gonna let this thing simmer. I'll digest it some more, and yeah, I guess the next time I see you guys will be when we're getting ready for the next game. Asante, thank you. Sorry, I just went on and on and on rambling, but it's not in my head right now. So right now I'm reading and just blah 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 blah. All right, I'll talk to you guys.